right. Hello, everyone. What a day at Google. My name is Eileen Naughton. I lead people operations at Google, and we are so happy. It's just so heartwarming to be here today, of all days, on International Women's Day, and to be able to welcome a panel of incredible talent from the new Disney film, A Wrinkle in Time, which opens tomorrow, March 9th, worldwide. So we are here to celebrate a number of strong, courageous women who are helping steer us all to a more equitable future. Now, we're about to meet our extraordinary panel, but first, let me introduce in the room with us today 40 young women from Girls, Inc., a nonprofit organization that encourages all girls to be strong, smart, and bold through direct service and advocacy. Welcome, girls. Now, these girls were invited by Google's Made with Code program, a movement that Google is proud to support, a movement to equip women with the skills they need to embark on any career path they choose, including careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. And given that Madeleine L'Engle's novel, A Wrinkle in Time, is often cited as inspiration for women who have taken careers in science, we hope today brings similar inspiration. Okay, we're going to introduce the cast. So I'd first like to welcome the wise and wonderful Oprah Winfrey. Oprah, you have some fans.
Wise and
wonderful. Oprah's humanity and sage advice have touched us deeply, and by us, I mean humankind. Oprah is a media icon, an Oscar-nominated actress, producer, philanthropist. She's also one of my favorite things about you, Oprah. So you're the founder of the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, which provides educational and leadership opportunities for academically gifted girls from disadvantaged backgrounds. Thank you for that.
Big support of Girls, Inc., too.
I love it. Oprah is a fairy godmother. She plays Mrs. Witch in A Wrinkle in Time. Welcome, Oprah. And next, we have Ava DuVernay, a filmmaker, producer, and screenwriter who directed A Wrinkle in Time. You can sit if you'd like. And the 2014 Oscar-nominated film Selma, which chronicles Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s leadership in the struggle for voting rights. Ava has the rare distinction of being an Academy Award and Golden Globe-nominated director of both documentary and feature films. Welcome, Ava. Next, we have Storm Reid. Storm is here. Storm began acting. There's Storm. Storm began acting when she was 3 years old. She's 14 right now, so she's growing up right before her eyes. Storm plays the lead role of Meg Murray in A Wrinkle in Time, and among other roles, Storm appeared in the Academy Award-winning film 12 Years a Slave. And we have Gugu Mbatha-Raw, an English actress known for many roles in British TV and film, including a recurring role in the Doctor Who TV series, and Plumette in Beauty and the Beast. More than half the roles that Gugu has appeared in were directed by women, which is in itself quite notable. And in Wrinkle in Time, she plays Meg's mother.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful Meg's mother. So why don't we sit down, ladies, and start. I was able to see A Wrinkle in Time this week, and it's a magical, visually enchanting movie about a young girl who travels across a time-space dimension to save her father, a physicist, from dark forces in the universe. Now, what really struck me in the movie was how central women are to the entire storyline. Meg Murray is not a damsel in distress. She is a young woman on a mission to find her father. And she was aided in her quest by kind boys and men and by mystical, magical, powerful women. So congratulations, ladies, on a great achievement. Ava. Now, I understand that you weren't expecting and might have been surprised to receive a call from Disney to direct this film, and you hadn't read Madeleine L'Engle's novel before being offered this project. What was it about the script and the project that really appealed to you?
Well, thank you all for being here. Really, really happy to see you. And one thing I want to say about the women in the book and in our film is that Gugu Mbatha-Raw does not play just her mother. She's an astrophysicist. She's Dr. Kate Murray, which is really important because we want to make sure that we know that girls can participate in STEM. That's important in medicine, education, math, science, all that good stuff. So we want to make sure we point that out. Don't ask her to do any math problems here on the stage, but she does them in the movie. But yeah, it was really cool to get a call from Disney because sometimes in Hollywood likes you to ask for permission, just like a lot of people in life want girls and women to ask for permission to do things. They want us to sometimes pitch ourselves and sometimes to prove that you're worth doing something. And so we find that a lot of places in life. But now and then you get a beautiful experience when people welcome you in and they love you just the way you are. And that's what happened to me at Disney. They called me and they said, we love your work, we love your voice, and we want you to just come in and be who you are. And those are the kind of experiences you want to embrace. Those are the kind of people you want to align yourself with. And those are the kind of people that we were able to make Wrinkle in Time with at Disney.
That's a remarkable story. You did not pick up a camera to direct until you were 33.
No, that's old. Well, all of the kids know that's old. But
That's very young, actually.
It's older for directors because most directors start 20, 21 in their early 20s. So to start in your 30s, it's unusual.
So
Yeah.
what advice would you give women, and particularly young girls, about following their dreams, their tropisms, and having courage?
It's really just what you're doing now does not have to be what you always do. Who you are right now is not who you're always going to be. And just know that there are steps to take, there are other paths to follow, to explore, but don't feel stuck in one place. Embrace where you are now, learn what you can from it, but also stay open to the fact that there are other things that you can do. A lot of people talk about me and my journey in terms of race and gender, but part of my story is also age, because in the industry that I'm in, I got to start quite late. And it's just proof that nothing is impossible. It really isn't.
Nothing is impossible, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Oprah, the character you play, Mrs. Which, is the wisest woman in the universe. And as Ava said in casting you, she picked the wisest woman in real life. And when you see the movie, it's phantasmagorical, and there are times where...
You scared me. Sorry, y'all. I was like, what's happening? That's how it felt.
We'll get to you in a moment,
Mrs.
Reid.
What's-It just popped
It's
in.
Reese Witherspoon, everybody!
Hello, Mrs. What's-It just came from the United Nations, where she was representing women for International Women's Day. So thank you, Reese, for being here. We were just in the middle of talking about the remarkable character, Mrs. Which, that Oprah plays, and this larger-than-life figure who guides Meg through the universe and gives her courage. Tell me what it is about this role that appealed to you. Because
Well, I have to
it's
say,
natural.
well, first of all, let me just say that one of the reasons this role happened to me is because I am a friend of Ava DuVernay's. I do not use that term lightly because over the years, I have chosen my friends carefully. And I have had a best friend, Gail, who's been my best friend since we were 21 and 22. I actively sought another friend because Gail is busy a lot. And I actively sought another friend. So someone had shown me a DVD of Ava's work for another movie called The Middle of Nowhere. And when I liked the movie, and then I went and looked up, Googled her. I Googled her. Hello, Google, I Googled her. And there I saw this essence of someone who I wanted to be my friend. First of all, she was a girl with glasses. She looked like me, and I thought, gee, I want to be her friend. So I actively sought to create an event so that she could come to my house, and then so she would,
Wow.
so that she would be my friend. So that worked. And then I, as a friend, when you have a friend that you love and you care about, you want to do everything you can to support your friends. That's the kind of friend you want. You want a friend that wants for you as much as you want something, they want it even more. So I wanted to support my friend in doing this film. So I said, I'm gonna come to New Zealand, girl. And I'm gonna watch you work and say, action. I just wanna be there when you tell all those people, action, and cut. And so she said, oh, and I kept saying it, oh, I'm coming to New Zealand, girl, I'm coming to New Zealand. And she said, if you're really going to do that, would you consider reading this part? And I said, yeah, girl, I'll do that. So that's actually how it happened, because I was seeking her as a friend. I saw something in her essence that has turned out to be even more profound. So then I read this role, and it's like everything I could imagine for myself. So I had a wonderful mother, friend, teacher, mentor named Maya Angelou. Do you know who that is? Okay. So I read her book when I was about your age, and then I ended up becoming her daughter. And so she was my spiritual guide, mentor, teacher. And I modeled this character, Mrs. Witch, from Maya Angelou and from The Wizard of Oz, Glinda the Good Witch. So when Glinda the Good Witch says you've always had the power, I think that's one of the greatest teachings. So to be able to have Maya Angelou and Glinda the Good Witch, and then a bit of my own self in there, because in the very beginning, when Mrs. Witch first shows up at the beginning of the film, and she says to Meg, all you have to do is find the right frequency and have faith in who you are. That is my true philosophy for how you live your life. And if I had any advice to give to you all today, that is it. It starts at the beginning of the movie. All you have to do is find the right frequency, because everybody has their own frequency that is just yours. And when you can ride that frequency, find the flow that is for you, and have faith in that, unimaginable things become possible for you. So that's why I love the movie, for that message and for my friend, Ava.
Beautiful message, and it's a beautiful lesson for us here today. And I think, Reese, welcome. You have found your right frequency lately. It's remarkable. You all know Reese Witherspoon, actress, director, entrepreneur.
Hey, Betty.
She has her own production company, Hello Sunshine, which really is your frequency.
My frequency.
But you've also become really actively involved in a number of women's advocacy organizations, and for that we thank you. I understand you read this book when you were a young girl. And how did you feel that Ava's film enhances the story and makes it more relevant to the world that we're living today and experiencing today?
Well, the book was written quite a while ago. I think Ava did an extraordinary job. I read this book when I was 12, and I loved it. And I think primarily because I loved science fiction, and I hadn't read a lot of books that had a girl at the center of it. So I thought I was Meg Murray, and I was going to travel through the universe and do amazing things. And I loved all of that. And then I read every book in the series, so I was just completely obsessed. And so when Ava called me to be in it, I was so excited. I didn't know who I would play either, because the missuses are all like billions and billions of years old. My son said, "What does she want you to play, an old lady?" But she, of course, had this beautiful vision of making them timeless, and celestial and intergalactic, and that they had this, and they have these qualities that are the qualities that you'd want to have three incredible women guide you through the universe: wisdom, a sense of fun, and a sense of past. And I just think it was beautiful the way she imagined it.
And you have one of the most beautiful transformations from a somewhat human form into this mystical flying creature. That is one of the most exciting scenes in the movie. Can we talk a little bit about the special effects and the challenge in creating a movie like that so heavily relies on technology, really, to produce these effects?
Yeah, no, I think it was a beautiful team that worked on the film and the special effects with me. Our visual effects supervisor, Rich McBride, also a great woman over at Disney who heads up special effects there, Mimi Steele, another woman, Tamara Kent. So a lot of women on our special effects, on our visual effects team. But I think the actress that was most impacted by the visual effects was Storm Reid, because Storm Reid, as Meg Murray, gets to fly. And that's one of the reasons why I want to make this movie, to see a girl fly, hop planets, save the world from the darkness, and do all these amazing things. So, but Storm actually, put her in a harness, hiked her up in the air, and she had to fly through the air. It looked like it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And it was believable. You did it.
Thank you.
Believably.
I had some challenges, and it was a learning curve with the stunts and the special effects and green screen all working together. It was a challenge, but Miss Ava was right there in my corner and helping me and showing me previs, which is basically the animation of what's going to be in the film. So she helped a lot, and it was still hard because you have to you have to imagine the unimaginable, which is really hard, but it came together.
So there was one scene.
No, don't rat me out.
I'm not. She did a really good job, and you'll see it in the movie, but there was one scene where I said, okay, Storm, here in this place, you're standing here in a field, a tree is going to pop up fully grown from the ground. And she was like, okay. And I said, so can you imagine that? But she's an actress, so she goes through her feelings, so she's never experienced a tree popping up from the ground fully grown. So she was like, so it's gonna just pop up like pop up from the ground or on top of the ground? I said, no, from the ground, Storm, from the ground. So it took, an intellectual approach to it. But those are the kinds of fantastic spaces that she found herself in. And when she was 13 years old when she did it. So when you watch the movie, imagine this 13-year-old actress, brilliant girl, doing all of these amazing things. She's the real warrior of our movie.
Thank you.
Truly.
I love it, Storm. Storm, Meg is a beloved character and a brave and determined girl, a physics whiz. You've mentioned that you really saw yourself in that character. What was it about Meg?
Yes. Well, when I was reading A Wrinkle in Time in the 6th grade, I didn't see myself as being Meg because she wasn't written that way. And I'm a very visual person, so if I'm reading something and something is written away, then that's how it is, and I could love it, and I did. But once I got the script and Miss Ava sent it over to me, I felt like it just all clicked, and it made sense, and it made sense for a girl at the center of the universe to be African American, to represent African American girls and just girls in general. Yes, and just represent girls in general. And then going into Meg, I feel like Meg, everybody can find a little piece of Meg in themselves. And I feel like Meg is very determined and strong-willed, and I feel like I'm the same way. So I feel like personally, we kind of are on the same level, and I feel like as girls and as just teenagers growing up in this kind of dark world, we're just trying to grow up and find ourselves and surround ourselves by good people, and sometimes we have challenges and mistakes and faults on top of that. So that's what we're all
just
going
human.
through.
Storm, we love it.
I think it's important to note, too, that Ava fought to get this Meg. She fought to get Storm. Will you tell that story?
Oh.
Oprah is channeling her.
Well, there were a lot of girls all over the world who auditioned to be Meg, and you're looking for that special girl who encompasses everything that this beautiful character has symbolized for so many decades since the book was published in 1963. And so you're looking for the one girl. And so out of the hundreds of girls that we saw, Storm Reid was the one who was meant to be Meg. And I think it really speaks to everyone has their place. Everyone has somewhere or some place that they're meant to be. Someone in the world that you're meant to be connected with, in your family. Something that you're supposed to be in your classroom or in your life if you're an adult. And you once you align with that place, it just clicks. And that's what happened. Storm was not just in the right place at the right time. Her whole life she was moving towards being in that audition room and being ready to be Meg. All of the little steps that brought her to be in the place, in the time, in the space to fulfill and be something important to someone else, and that was me. And so whether you're an actress and it's your time to be in a movie, which is a rare thing, or whether it's your opportunity to be someone important to someone in your life, you have to cultivate yourself each and every day so that when the opportunity comes to really stand up and step up and be someone important to someone, that you're ready to do that. And Storm did that. So when it was her time and I met her, she was ready to be someone important to me and to be someone who carries this whole movie. So I really I think her journey can speak to anyone in terms of prepare every day in your life to be a great person so that when the moment of greatness arises, you're ready for it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, Gugu, you play Dr. Kate Murray, Meg's mother and a scientist, and an equal partner to your wild scientist, physicist husband. What did that feel like? And rumor is that you got to hang out at NASA. Is that true?
Yeah, well, it was a real honor for me. I think, getting to work with Ava, who I've admired for such a long time, getting to play a scientist, as you said, in the book, she's often described as Mrs. Murray, and the idea that we have Dr. Kate, that she's not just defined by her marriage, that she, is an equal partner to Dr. Alex Murray, played by Chris Pine. And for me, it was really fascinating to kind of cling on to this idea that he's been away for 4 years, what this marriage and this family is based on is obviously love, but also this intellectual meeting of minds, that she's really found her partner in life who is, we sort of talked about them like this sort of power couple of science, that they would do these TED Talks, that they were sort of like this I don't know, that their connection was intellectual and not just love and family. And that's what really kept her going and kept her trying to figure out where he was, in that long time. So yes, we did get to go and visit JPL in Pasadena, which was fascinating. Getting to meet real, have you been? So I heard someone go, yes. Getting to meet real scientists, people who are really planning missions to Mars. It was so interesting. We also met this wonderful Dr. Stephen Alexander, who wrote this book called The Jazz of Physics. And, he sort of correlated the link between the work of John Coltrane, the saxophonist, and science and physics. And I mean, it was mind-blowing to me, and I can't pretend that I have retained all of it now.
Won't give you a pop quiz on
exactly.
equations.
But it was great, and the fact that Ava sort of had him as the consultant on the movie to be able to sort of introduce us to that world of science was really inspiring.
What a rich experience for you all and for us all. Time Magazine notes in its review of the movie that the book and the movie is about what it means to be a source of light in a world in which darkness seems only to proliferate. Oprah, you have a beautiful line in the movie about darkness being stronger than light. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because several of you have already mentioned darkness in the world, and this is such an inspiring film.
What I think is incredible is that when Madeleine L'Engle wrote it in 1962, she was talking about the Cold War and all of the experiences of that day, and civil rights movement and everything that was on people were facing. And what I know is that you're never going to run out of darkness, as you're not going to run out of light, because this is the planet Earth, and we are the planet of yin and yang, of darkness and light, of opposites. And so the darkness, which Mrs. Witch says is spreading so fast these days, the only thing faster than light is the darkness. And so you need warriors of the light to help banish the darkness. If you think about it, if we turn all the lights off in this room and you were only holding a small candle, that candle would light up the darkness and would help to banish the darkness. It only takes a little bit of your light to banish the darkness. It takes a lot of darkness to overcome the light, but just a little flicker from you. And so wherever there is confusion, wherever there's jealousy, as Mrs. Witch talks about and is able to show everyone in the movie what that darkness looks like, where it shows up in your life, just a little bit of your light helps to dissipate and destroy that. So I think it's about these times, and all times are about you reaching for the light inside yourself. And that's the real work of your life, is to figure out who you are and how do you become more of who you are. Not what your friends are, not even what your mother and your father and everybody wants you to be. But this journey, particularly at this stage in your development, is about who am I and how do I become more of that? And how do I bring more of my light first to yourself? Because you've got to give it to yourself first. You can't give to yourself what you don't have. So you fill yourself up. And I used to be so afraid of people saying, oh, she's so full of herself, she's so full of herself. And now I work on, you've heard that before? Forget those people. Those people are not your friends. What you want to work on is filling yourself up with as much light, as much kindness, as much goodness, as much preparation, because that's what luck is. Being prepared, so when the moment of opportunity shows up, a lot of people will look at Storm and say, oh, she's so lucky. She's lucky because she was prepared. Luck is just preparation, meeting that moment of opportunity. If she wasn't prepared, she wouldn't be here. So your job is to fill yourself with as much light. Light comes from all that is good, all that is grace, all that is kindness, and then offer that to the world. That will be your gift to the world. So that's why I love this movie.
Well, thank you. And this
message.
movie gives us all hope. And thank you all for being warriors for the light and for goodness. And now I think we have, since we are live streaming on YouTube, we have a few questions for all of you from our global audience. So we're going to go to them.
Hey, soy Claudia Ayuso y esta es mi pregunta. En España tenemos un montón de música sobre empoderamiento, cómo superar obstáculos, como Invisible de Malú. ¿Tú podrías decirnos qué tipo de música te inspira y cómo la banda sonora está relacionada con los temas de la película?
Yes. Well, thank you. Great question from Spain. The soundtrack of the movie is beautiful. One of the first artists that I put on the soundtrack was Storm Reid's favorite artist, just because I wanted to make her happy, but also because she's a great artist. Her name is Kehlani. I don't know if you all know Kehlani, but she's on the piece. And then one of my favorite artists, because I want to make myself happy too, Sade is on the album. So incredible. Sia is on the album. Chloe and Halle are on the album. Demi Lovato and DJ Khaled are on the album. So it's a really, really great mix of voices. And they you put the music with the images and it just uplifts you as you watch the film.
Wonderful, beautiful. We have a question next from France.
Ooh.
Bonjour.
Brazil? Oh, it's Brazil, not France.
Cássia aqui do Brasil e eu tô muito feliz de poder participar dessa live com vocês, principalmente hoje no Dia da Mulher. E a minha pergunta é a seguinte: eu particularmente passei por um período de muito autoconhecimento, principalmente durante a minha adolescência, e por não gostar do meu cabelo, por não me sentir enquadrada nos padrões de beleza aqui do Brasil. No entanto, eu acabei encontrando minha autoconfiança e hoje eu sou muito feliz comigo mesma. E eu queria saber o que fez vocês ganharem confiança durante a juventude de vocês e em suas carreiras. Beijo.
Oh, beijo.
Yeah, I mean, for me, probably growing up, confidence. I was relatively confident, but I was an only child, so I didn't have many people to play with and stuff like that. So for me, actually, acting gave me confidence. I think being able to find something that I loved. I loved dancing initially when I was about 4 or 5. I went to dance class, and I just loved feeling free, expressing myself with my body. It sort of helped me get rid of my inhibitions. And it was so much fun. I think there's so much play to be had in acting. So I think it's, finding what you love and just sticking with that. And I obviously was lucky enough to make my hobby my job. But yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence, acting and dancing.
Beautiful. Well, we could talk for another hour, but I'm afraid you all have to get on flights to London so you can open the movie there tomorrow. I want to thank all of our guests for being here. Disney's A Wrinkle in Time is in theaters tomorrow, March 9th. Go see it.
March 9th.
Before we let you go, however,
weekend.
Because it's so exciting, we would like to invite all of the girls from Girls Inc. onto the stage to take a quick picture with the cast.